Why, hello, all you Days fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive number one award winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my gaggle of gals.
Michael Mattis, how are you? I did it! Yay!
Yay.
I go first. And then
Hey,
we
guys.
have
Araceli Aviles. Hi, everybody.
Hey guys, Justin Hareld here.
There's still always that moment of like, is it my turn? Is it my
Because
turn?
we're
Do I
switched
say-
now. We're supposed to be the other way around. Yeah.
Do I say it? Do I go now? Do I say it now?
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. So glad that you are tuning in. If you are watching us live, yay. If you're watching us later, even better. But make sure either way you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and just plain old Dishin Days on Twitter. The @ is currently at Sweet Bits, enjoying a lovely donut by Alice. And of course, if you're on our YouTube channel right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the bell notification so that way you'll never miss a live and in living color broadcast brought to you by your favorites of Dishin Days. We are also on your favorite podcast stations. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just simply search Dishin Days so that you can take us along on that long road trip or while you're walking on the treadmill or hiking up a hike. I don't know anything about hikes. 'Cause I don't
hiking
do
up a
that.
hike.
Yeah. Or, when you're just sitting on your patio thinking about life, you can listen to us and what we thought about this week's episodes. And then, of course, buy our merch. That's right. DishinDays.threadless.com. We have all of your favorite merchandise, including these fine things. Take a look back at Meliswin, or if you're feeling possessed, or if you just want to rep that you are a Dishin Days fan, or if you want to serve up a full dish, check it all out. Buy your sweatshirt, your t-shirt, your towels, your mugs, whatever you need that will get you going. DishinDays.threadless.com. And for your full dish on all other soap operas, make sure you go to JLJ Media on the YouTubes. Our chocolate twin and ex co-host of Dishin Days is over there doing all the things with Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless. So make sure you tune in. JLJ Media on YouTube. I feel like it gets longer.
I know.
It's longer every week.
Or maybe it's just me. So listen, before we dive into what happened this week on Days of Our Lives, also furthermore, I feel like I'm sweating like a whole.
I know.
Whitney Houston over here.
I really feel like Whitney Houston, where I'm like, yes, life treats you kind. But before we start dishing about Days of Our Lives, we have some very special guests joining us. I mean, you know them as Brady and Stefan and Johnny and Justin, but today they are the band, the dynamic band of the Day Players, and they're going to talk to us about their upcoming performances and Day of Days. So help me welcome Eric Martsolf, Brandon Barash, Carson Boatman, and Wally Kurth. Hi, everybody.
Hey
guys.
Party time. We're here.
Thanks for having us, man.
Look at that. The Day Players are in the hizzle for shizzle. How's it going, guys?
Shizzle. Good. Good. Thanks for having us. Happy
Of
Sunday.
cour's. Thanks for being
I don't like
What is
Wally
Wally
did-
doing over
Wally
there?
did flips to get here.
You know what? That's probably the smartest way to do flips. I think from now on, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to take my camera and just like go like this, so that way it looks like I'm all like acrobatic and things.
Yeah.
So guys, Day of Days is coming up on this Saturday, November 12th. How are you guys feeling about reconnecting with the fans live and in person after so many years?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is my first real in life, in person Day of Days. So I'm excited to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the choice of MC this year. Do you have any
And
idea?
who might that be?
Ooh, he's
got a fire.
Son of a gun! Look at you. You
I mean, look how far we've come from that little shy boy who used to meet all of his
Walking
favorite
around
stars in
Hortontown
Greenville,
Square.
South Carolina, walking around Horton Town Square, dreaming of the day that he would be on his favorite soap opera, and now we have come full circle. I'm excited. I have to admit, though, I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very excited. But it's going to be fun either way.
It's the big stage. The Xbox Plaza downtown in LA that's a big stage, man. You're gonna be asking the tough questions.
I am. I'm
asking the tough questions.
For the first time, I get to pretend like I'm actually Beyonce this time. So I have a proper stage to do that in. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your tough questions, Tony.
Yeah. Oh well, listen. I bring the hard hitting questions, Wally. They call me the Oprah of soap operas. So be ready.
I'm sure you'll bring me to tears.
Soap opera.
So
once he tries singing Beyonce, he'll bring everybody to tears.
Yeah.
They will be happy tears. I promise you, they will be happy. Listen, I will hit a note some way, but I won't be the only one hitting notes. You guys are performing this weekend.
Yeah,
we are.
We figured, Day of Days, it's been a long time. So Peacock really wanted to go all out. They wanted to make it special. And they approached us with the idea of playing a couple tunes. And we're like, how do we say no to that? Of course, we're gonna do a few tunes that day at Day of Days. And then the following day, we're going to be at the Peppermint Club in West Hollywood for an afternoon 12:30 p.m. show. There you go. And we'll give you the full show on that day.
Look at this picture, though. I mean, it's like now.
What do you think, Tony? What do you think of that picture?
Listen, this week, we had Alex, played by Robert Scott Wilson, want the smolder in during a photo shoot. So I think
the smolder that I just don't know how to do.
just couldn't get. But you know what? There's a lot of smoldering that's happening in that day players photo.
Yeah, that picture would say otherwise.
I mean, look at that. It's like we're bad and we know it, and you should come to our show so we can show it.
Guys,
we honestly.
We should retake a photo with like us. I don't know, in a good, maybe in a happy frame of mind. I don't know.
That picture does look like we're gonna beat you up for your lunch money after school behind the dumpster.
The outsiders over there.
I was just gonna say the outsiders. Yeah.
Pony boy.
We should have called ourselves the Smolderers.
Just the smolder. The
smolders.
Oh my God! The more you say that word, the less I think about like the beauty of the picture, and the more I think about the scene from Tangled where he says, "Here comes the smolder."
Yeah.
No, but
it's a weird word.
It is a great photo, and I mean, I feel like if I did have to caption that, it does give very much buy tickets, fool. So it feels very that. But we already got our tickets, so we're going to be there supporting you guys and listening to all the tunes. What can fans expect at a Day Players concert? Because you guys toured the East Coast a couple of months ago, and a lot of the fans there said that this is a show that you can't miss. It was amazing. Yeah. They had an amazing time. But for those of us who haven't had the opportunity yet, tell us what we can expect at a Day Players show.
You can
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brandon.
You can expect the best and funniest cover music show you have ever seen. We are fully acoustic. You can see Eric Martsolf banging on his wood box for almost 2 hours. Wally Kurth wailing on his guitar. You've never seen or heard a cowbell like Carson Boatman's.
No.
And I will be sucking and blowing on my instrument, aka the harmonica. So
make sure that's clear what you're playing. Okay.
A very diverse musical experience, but seriously, we have a lot of fun up there. We put our own little acoustic twist on some of our favorite songs, and even throw in some pretty wicked harmonies It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really thought that even if you didn't watch us on the show, we wanted to create a show where anybody would enjoy it. So we have, I think, a really wild, diverse collection of hits from the last 5 or 6 decades. And we make them our own and personalize them. And I think we really have fun with it. And I'm actually really excited. I think I can only speak for myself. I think we're better than I imagined. You never know, but our harmonies are
I would
good,
agree with that.
And we all get along really well. So we like singing with each other. You got to like each other in order to really harmonize. Let's face it. And we really have a lot of fun, and we really love and respect each other. And so it's good. So far, so good.
Yeah. I'm curious, guys, since you've been touring with each other now for a little while, what's something you didn't know about each other that you've found out while you've been touring?
Ooh.
I think
you see how all the faces just changed because they all just found out a lot.
There are a few stories there I can tell.
I've learned that Wally always thinks that everybody else's nav on their phone is wrong. In his defense, it was, but yeah.
We actually was surprising because we all actually got along because we went to 4 different states, in 4 days, packed up, set up, loaded in, loaded out, got to our hotel, and we didn't want to kill each other by the end. And the fact that we got through it all and still had a smile on our face is pretty remarkable. We had to plug in for the first time and bring our own mixing board and figure out how that had to work. And we didn't have a technical guy with us. We had help the first day, but after that, it was, I'm not a sound guy, and I pretended to be somewhat of the sound guy. And, well, not really, but I brought the mixing board. But anyway, the point is we somehow skated through the East Coast, and we really had some good shows, and the audience went crazy. And so we're happy to do it again and keep going.
Yeah.
One of the best comments that I think I got was at our last show. The club owner, or the woman that ran the place, she came up to me after and she said, "I actually completely forgot that you guys were, actors from some show. I totally got involved in you're a band. You're a legitimate band, and I wish you guys the best because I think you could take this as far as you want to go with it." And that was cool. We really wanted to create something that wasn't just a gimmick. We really wanted to bring some musicality into it, and all these guys here love different kinds of music, so it provides a really eclectic, set that everyone. Just the 3 tunes we're doing at Day of Days couldn't be more different. Yeah, so it's nice. It's cool.
And I will say, not even Neil Diamond does Neil Diamond as good as Eric Martsolf. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Neil Diamond's gonna come after you, man.
Somewhat of an idea.
Say that again, Carson.
I said, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I said, and now the joke's over, so it's not funny. I will. You guys all know what I said. I'll say, and Neil Diamond does Neil Diamond pretty good, so that should give you some.
He does him okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you guys are all very talented, So I was excited when I first saw the band formulate. Like I was like, this all makes sense because each one of you are talented individually, but now you've come together. When your powers combine, you make a very great group. So I'm excited to finally get to see the show because it's been talked about a lot, like on Soap Twitter and everything like that. And a lot of the fans have messaged us and said you're in for a great treat. So we're excited. We can't wait.
Well,
we can't wait either.
We're excited too.
What'd you say, Carson?
We're equally excited, and we can't wait either.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here like my dogs are both just so they're very.
I love it. The youngest guy in the band is having the most technological. This is wrong.
Well, you guys, all the fans who are listening and watching now, make sure you, number one, come to Day of Days on November 12th here in Los Angeles at the Xbox Plaza at LA Live. It's a free event, and the day players will be there to perform, but also you get to meet 38 of your favorite stars from Days of Our Lives. So you definitely don't want to miss that. All emceed by yours truly, me. And then, if you haven't already, make sure you purchase your ticket to their performance at the Peppermint Club in West Hollywood. Go to thedayplayersband.com and get your tickets today. You can get a general admission ticket, or if you get the VIP ticket, you get to stand next to them and take a photo and later on tell us how great they smell. So make sure you do that.
Rich mahogany. Leather-bound books.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for popping on. We are now going to continue on with our show, and we're going to talk about you behind your backs. So
excellent.
So watch this later to find out what we thought about all the shenanigans that happened in Salem this week.
All right, y'all. Thanks for having us on. And
thanks a lot.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.
And Tony, congrats again, man. You're the right man. Job. We'll
Thank you, guys. I'm excited. So just be prepared, because you never know when I'm going to ask a hard-hitting question or ask you to do something.
Tony, I want a hard-hitting question.
You got it.
Take me down.
You got it, Wally. I got it.
When did you lose your virginity? Like stuff like that. Do it.
All right. See you later, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yay. I love fun moments like that.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. All right. Now, what did we think about this week's episodes of Days? Araceli?
I loved everything but one thing.
What was that one thing? Well, why don't you save it for later? Why don't you save it for later, that one thing?
I'm pretty sure our audience can guess.
Michael Mattis, how did you feel about this week?
It had some peaks and valleys. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent. It was more than an info week, but not quite, one of those exciting weeks. It's kind of in the middle, but
I actually felt the same way. Like, I was like, this isn't an info week, but it's not like a like kind of week. It's just kind of like, all right.
It kept me engaged. Like, it wasn't a phone. It wasn't like a phone week. Where I'm like,
a phone
week.
I thought, I'm kind of with you guys. It definitely wasn't an info week. I thought I was pretty engaged with most of the storylines. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that we got a lot from different people and different characters this week. So I like that.
Justin, this one streak of sun that keeps hitting.
I know. I'm tempted to jump up and fix my blinds, but I don't want to. Yeah, I know. It's like you see I'm leaning forward to like keep it out of.
Bless your little heart. Well, y'all, let's break it all down quickly. It is. It is now time to start. Dishin Days. It was close. All right,
maybe let's try it in person.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
In person.
Yes.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
When we get to Days. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's gonna be only like the second time we've all like been together in person. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah, because the first time was when
we
met
together
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is like the second time.
That's right.
Okay. I'm bringing all the peach vodka for y'all.
I do straight vodka.
Okay.
This is gonna bother me all day. I know.
Oh boy. All right, so let's kick it off with our first storyline with Ava, EJ, Susan, Xander, Johnny, Wendy, Lee, Gabby, Stefan, Sarah, Maggie, and that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
First
this
of
was
all,
the storyline I enjoyed the most with all of these people. I felt like this is it's a solid group. First of all, everyone in this storyline is solid performance wise, and I feel like this was the most engaging for me.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Ava deciding not to go to Seattle but seek revenge on EJ? Do you think she needed to do that, or do you think she should have just said, you know what, let me just go to Seattle and mind my business?
It's in line with her character, but I think the real question that I had was, what is Charlie in this scenario? Is he actually a ghost? Is he a figment of her imagination? Is he
do we
some
think
kind of
she
reverse
thinks,
consciousness?
like, do we think? I was wondering. I was like, oh, maybe. What if he's actually alive? By some force of Rolf or whatever, and she thinks that she's just imagining him, but he's actually there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I started to think, because this week he came back and he wasn't like all zombie-ish. He was looking kind of good actually, but
he was what?
And not dead. He was looking kind of good.
He was looking kind of good. He was looking kind of good.
He was looking good.
He was looking
not gonna lie.
He was looking good. I thought that it was like with the Halloween episode, it was another like Rise of the Dead sort of a thing. But then he said, am I actually here, or am I just like in your mind? And that's when I thought, oh, I see. So I really think that he's just in her subconscious, and he's just like in full form. But when he was saying like, oh, what are you gonna like bake cookies and like clean in Seattle? I was like, but that's what you did at Race.
I know.
All he was doing was cooking and cleaning.
Exactly.
I like the agency part of it, of her taking stuff into her own hands. I just wish it was a different plot. I wish it was something different than kidnapping Susan, which is kind of, I don't know.
I'm on board with this plot because it's like there's an explanation as to why this is what her revenge is going to be. It wasn't like she came up with it herself. It was kind of like a fully realized plan through Charlie and her imagination. But and you saw her kind of struggle with it. It wasn't just like, she kind of went back and forth, and then we were talking about this in our text message where she was like, yeah, she was talking about Jake, and she was like, Susan's kind of like his aunt or something. And it's like she couldn't put the dots together of like how they were related. But I don't know. That's why I'm on board with it. Just because, and it's something like there hasn't been a revenge storyline where someone kidnapped someone's mom.
Right.
There was kidnapping the kids,
And
I I'm kind of down to see where it goes.
I think it's kidnapping, the person that he most loves. It's almost like, at least how I saw it was like the love of her life was taken away, not by him necessarily, but like, what is the next thing that he loves, which is, Susan. But I do feel like I do need further explanation as to what her full idea is, because I feel like a lot of times on the show, like we see something happening and it's like, wait, why are we doing this?
Which is why
so she kidnaps Susan, and then what? Yeah. Then after she kidnaps Susan, then what?
Oh, well, she said
ransom.
Once a ransom is paid, so okay, I take it back, because she did explain why she's doing this. It's basically for money.
Yeah.
So kidnap Susan. She gets money, splits it with Xander, and then, Susan, is released. They have the money. They can go along their merry way. So, I don't know. She did look good as a blonde with a bob, though.
Yeah. But it's also like, because she seemed like she wants to make sure he knows. So it's like, is there an element where she reveals that it's her? Is there an element of, I'm going to stay in Salem? Like, it's still, like, even though she explained it, it's still a little murky for me. Honestly, it's giving me sort of Lucas vibes. Like, it's giving me the Kidnap Sammy thing, where it kind of makes sense from their warped perspective, but I'm just not getting the whole picture here. Because her whole thing is like, EJ one-upped me, so I'm going to get him. But it seems more like she also wants him to know that it was her. Because otherwise, what's outside of the money, what's the point? He still thinks he ran you out of town and did.
Well, she did. She actually didn't say that she wanted him to know that it was her.
Yeah.
Because she's planning on bilking him for everything he's worth. But I get what you're saying. It long term does not make sense, which is why I am not sure that the devil on her shoulder theory with Charlie still applies, or is the extreme emotion. I feel like she is unraveling a little bit again.
You think so?
Because yeah, because it just doesn't make sense. You know, like when she set up Rafe, that was extremely strategic. She had all of her ducks in a row, even if it failed.
Right.
And this is half-hearted, and it just feels like she's lost and is just going back to a pattern of behavior that she knows, rather than sticking with them, rather than really being like full force passionate in terms of motivation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where that goes. How are we?
She was smart for hiring Xander to do it, because now she has a scapegoat.
I don't want
If they
Xander
get
involved.
caught.
I don't want Xander involved. Because if Sarah catches wind, we know that's going to be a whole debacle. Like the second that she reeled in Xander, I was like, Xander, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. I know that you're desperate for money. Like, just take the check from Maggie and move out of the roach infested. Now, speaking of, that motel didn't have that many roaches when Leo and Gwen were staying.
I know, right? I know.
They left crumbs, and now
they got infested.
It's all roach infested, and they probably got some bed bugs in there too. And
see, I've been more worried about the bed bugs than the roaches.
Yeah.
Johnny, Wendy, Lee, Gabby, Stefan.
I have to say this. I still kind of... Gabby and Johnny, I know no one was on board for that, but I still think like they need to be in a storyline together, and maybe not, as romantic partners, but like, I don't know. I feel like I like their chemistry. I always like their scenes together. They play very well off each other. I wish something would get explored with them more than what's already been. And maybe something more will be. Maybe it's kind of being set up, but I don't know. I like them together.
This might be an opening for that, because Johnny didn't seem completely insincere. Yes, he wants revenge on EJ, but he didn't seem completely insincere about wanting to give Gabby and Stefan their truth. And I think that people dismiss the fact that Johnny, basically spent majority of this past year trapped in his own body and not in control of his own life. And I think he in addition to just hating that EJ walks all over people, I think there's a deeper resentment of anybody of someone who would try to control somebody else's life.
Not Patrick TV said, look, I'm feeling very suspicious of Wendy too. She's a tech person, not a spy, because she's horrible. She dropped her phone outside. She got caught. And first of all, when EJ was questioning her, I was like, some of these questions, I'm like, well, who are you on the phone with? None of your damn business.
Yeah, he's great.
No, but she rallied. She did very well under pressure, I think.
On the spot, she did.
I mean, she did.
She covered her tracks, even though she got caught.
You got to hand it to her, but at the same time, I was like, EJ, this line of questioning, you ain't at Salem PD, homie. It should be like, hi, Wendy, I'm EJ, the CEO. Oh, hi. And then you have a conversation. It's not like, who are you on the phone with? What are you talking about? Isn't it late over in Hong Kong?
EJ is just in this constant control mode now, and he has been for a while, and he just wants complete control and knowledge over everything to do with everybody involved in that business, and that's all it is. It's a control thing. Like he feels entitled to it, as I was going to say Queen Demira, but he's not Queen Demira. It's like, he feels like he's the Demira in charge now. He thinks he's the Stefano, basically.
Yes.
I'm curious this week, because I'm glad that they brought this up in terms of like Wendy and her motivation. So I'm curious what you guys think when her and Johnny were going back and forth, and she's like, okay, she had like a crisis of conscience or something, where she was like, I actually don't hate my brother. I was pissed at him because of the work and the job stuff and the the sexism thing. And it's sort of like that stuff isn't 100% gone, but it's sort of cleared up. She basically got what she wanted. And now it's like, okay, well, what's the point of revenge? And now you're teaming up with someone who does supposedly have not hatred, but is really out to get their family
as an axe to grind.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, honestly, what is her motivation now?
Well, I mean, I think she may be saying she's over that and it's not her motivation, but I think it still is a little bit. I do think that she still has an axe to grind with her brother about it. I mean, what else would there be? What other motivation would there be?
I think
it's your question. To protect him from himself.
Well, I think some of it is part Johnny, because I think she is attracted to Johnny, even though she's trying to act like she's not. Two, I also think she just wants to get down to the truth. Yeah. She loves her brother, but it's kind of like, what are you doing? Because then I feel like the sister that she is, she's going to go into protective mode and be able to like help him in case he needs help. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of that for her. I think she's
already yes, exactly. She's already kind of seeing down the line that if Lee went to these extreme lengths to keep Gabby and Stefan apart, what does that mean for her brother? Does that mean that someday down the line, if Gabby and Stefan remember or whatever, that he's just going to get dumped on his ass, which is probably going to happen? She doesn't want that. And she's kind of, I agree with you, Tony, that it's kind of like she's trying to protect him from himself, I think, by getting to the truth and like basically saying, this is not the way that you get what you want, and not being a lecture sister, but being like this is going to backfire on you. Yeah. How do you not see that?
I guess if that's the case, if she's convinced he's up to something, why doesn't she just confront him versus?
Because she's still the little sister. Because she's still the little sister. He still sees her as a little sister. He does not see her as when that dynamic, you can tell, is firmly in place. He does not see her as someone he needs to discuss his personal business with.
Exactly, because we saw that in Beyond Salem.
I understand that, but I just feel like if she was doing this out of concern or trying to save him for himself, that she wouldn't. It would be more direct. Yeah, he may not hear her yet. Maybe tough to get through. But doing all of this like sleuthing and
because he can still lie to her
bullshit to get there. I don't know. I don't really believe that,
because he can still lie to her. He can still try to pull the big brother card, pull the boss card, wiggle his way out of it.
But then like Justin said, she has the job. She has what she wants.
Yeah,
so
that's why.
That job can be done in a second.
I think for me, it's the fact that Johnny seems like he's out for blood, and she's really not really. It's like, if we're following what you guys are saying, that she's doing it out of concern, then they're gonna bump heads, because Johnny really wants to take his dad down, and that's not what she wants.
Johnny is out for blood. Wendy is out for the truth. She just wants to know what the tea is, and it's
just for shits and giggles.
Well, it's out of concern for like, what is her brother up to? We saw their dynamic in Beyond Salem Chapter 2, and how as the male in the family, he's privy to information and things like that, and then there are things that she doesn't need to concern herself with, but she's like, I am going to concern myself with, because I need to be able to be there in case you need me, and so. I think that's what it is. I think, yes, in the end, both Johnny and Wendy will probably get what they want. But it's, what are they going to do with the information? Because Johnny's going to use it to take down his dad. Yeah. Wendy is going to go to her brother and probably be like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Why did you do that? Sort of a thing. And probably go into protective mode of like, maybe making sure it doesn't get out or whatever. I think that's when we'll see the two different dynamics, is once everything is uncovered. I will. It's something about these Gabby and Stefan scenes that do kind of warm my heart a little bit.
Oh, the scene with them when they were in Horton Town Square, and it was a long scene.
Yeah.
I got fully immersed into it, and I was like, this is why we liked them. This is what sold us on them.
And this right here, that scene with the cake was proof. If you haven't watched Bridgerton, I'll say it again. You do not need to necessarily be naked to have like off the charts sexual tension, like where just the chemistry is just like is flying off the screen. You could see it in that scene with the cake, and it's just like they're just talking about cake.
But there was a lot of innuendos within talking about that cake.
And then when he walked away and was like, it just ends up bitter, and he turned and sashayed away, I was just like, oh,
it took your
damn. Like,
but
that
it
was harsh.
Those were, and those are the. Here's the thing. I know that fans are very loyal to a couple, but for me, this is why I just like have always been fans with open arms, and I just get on the ride, because just a few weeks ago I was all about Lee and Gabby. I'm like, move on, whatever. This week I'm like, but Stefan and Gabby. Oh, you know what I mean?
Brandon got a haircut and was looking shaven without that 5 o'clock shadow. I was like, okay, now we're cooking here.
Yeah, so it's okay to sway. Underliningly, you can always have like a goal in mind, but it's okay to kind of, sway back and forth. You can hold tight to a dream, but it's okay to kind of go on the journey with the show regarding how they will eventually get there. You know what I mean?
And it's okay to like, a character that's played by an actor that used to be a character of your, ship. I'm talking to a certain, group. It's okay.
It's okay. You said what now? You said it's okay to do what?
What did I say? It's okay to accept, or it's okay to, give a character a chance that is played by an actor that was once in your ship.
Got it. It's called being a fan with open arms. I should sell a long sleeve shirt like that, where the hands are like this on the sleeve, and then it just says "fan with open arms."
Fan with open arms.
No, fan with open arms, and then the arms are on the sleeves.
Oh, got it.
So yeah. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much.
And then Chloe's in this too. Yeah.
Huh?
Chloe, they got who was it? Kristen got Chloe away from Brady from Basic Black. Lee offered her a job at corporate. She took it.
Oh, we can talk about that next, because Kristen and Brady and Chloe are all in this.
Oh, my bad. Did I get
question though? I will ask this. Do you think that Xander and Sarah should have moved out of Victor's house? And
I feel like so part of me feels like they should have not and milked it and taken full advantage of all of the offerings that house, because they do have Maggie as an ally. I know Victor's all crusty in that chair, like just throwing daggers at both of them left and right. But they do have Maggie, they do have an ally, and they don't got money.
They should have held out a little bit longer.
A little bit, yeah.
But I get it. Victor's a lot. And
I do get I do get that the ego kicked in. They're like, okay, well, F you. Well,
it's not just ego. It's the fact that they're adults. They're going through a hard time, but they're adults. And just Victor, just like, you don't expect to be talked down to like that. And people like Victor and EJ.
He's kicking he's kicking you when you're down.
Yeah. It's just like that way of talking down to people. It's like, how do you expect to, it's one thing to like to randomly run into people on the street, but to live with that.
Yeah. But again, it's a big house. They can, they can circumvent Victor if they needed to, but
you grab your food and move to the other wing.
Is anyone else confused about why Victor is being that mean and petty towards Xander? I mean, I'm sorry.
Before.
Yeah, because I mean, isn't
he accepted Xander before?
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, didn't Xander like totally like help Victor out by switching Sarah's dead baby with Rachel? And didn't he, I don't know, save Maggie from committing suicide?
I think it's the fact that Xander isn't tied to Titan anymore and isn't like doesn't have that extreme loyalty to Victor. I feel like Victor is someone who, as long as you pledge your loyalty to him, sort of similar to Stefano, like he's fine with you, but the minute you want to break away and do your own thing, it's like he has an issue.
Yeah. Well, exactly, Dylan. Victor will be Victor. Well, I feel like they should have accepted Maggie's money, or they should have just stayed. Like, y'all ain't got no money. Like, how are y'all affording this Roach Motel?
Sarah still has the check. The check still, they could still cash it, right?
I mean, just
I mean,
it
may have.
No, she ripped it.
Roach. Oh, really? Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, she ripped it.
Well, she ripped it in half.
Yeah, tape it.
So you can tape it back up. It's fine.
I guess, yeah.
All right, let's move on to Kristen, Brady, Chloe, Lee, Eric, Nicole, Alex, Rafe, Jada. First off, the Kristen Brady.
Araceli, your favorite storyline.
The Kristen, Brady, Chloe stuff. I'm still just like.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how they then show the dynamic of parenting. Because they really show that Kristen has no idea and Brady does.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was...
Yeah, Brady's been the one raising her while Kristen was out drugging people and putting on masks and
She was like, listen, we got to get her to the hospital. Brady was like, how much candy did we have last night? 1 or 2?
She don't know nothing.
You know, it's
she don't know nothing about the kid.
So I feel like, it shows that that's what Kristen missed while she was being on the run and everything like that. While she says everything is about Rachel and everything is for Rachel, you weren't there for her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now you don't know. So you're doing all this stuff. You're literally destroying Brady's life for something that you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did love the exchange. Oh, good.
Go ahead, Justin.
I did love the exchange between Kristen and Sarah. I always like when they acknowledge that, or
Well, yeah, because it's like there's a lot of history with those characters, and you almost forget that, like, oh yeah, Sarah had Rachel for very, very early on, and tried to go off with her. I remember that scene where Kristen found her.
At the bus
it was
station,
a nice little
train
reminder.
station.
Little history lesson. Reminder, history lesson.
We love lessons. Poor Chloe is still in a state of like, I don't understand why this is going on. I want to be like, Chloe, you're the tea collector. You're the smartest of them all. Like, girl, if 2 + 2 = 4 and 5 + 5 = 10, Brady dumping you and moving Kristen in equals he had to do that because Kristen gave him the antidote. And so he's just playing along because he had to save the people that he loved. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm curious though to know what Araceli thinks about Eric and Nicole and Alex and Rafe and Jada. Araceli, what do you think about how they're driving the story forward with these characters?
You can find my response on Twitter at Tia323Araceli with a GIF
form.
In a GIF form from Tangled.
And how is that said GIF for those of you who there are some people who may not have Twitter. It might not be their choice of social media. Some people only choose Instagram
after this week.
Okay, my response is this.
Why is that? What is it about this storyline that you don't like?
That
we all embrace
the exact same thing that I hated about when they pulled this storyline exactly 1 year ago with Chloe, Philip, and Brady. It is the triangle that will not die.
But Rafe originally wasn't in this triangle, but I do get your sentiments of like, it's like we all know that the fans want Eric and Nicole back together. So it's kind of like figuring out these ways to do it. And like, again, Days does a great job as far as history of like, bringing history into it. And like, that's how Eric and Nicole like fell in love, was when he was a photographer and she was a model and she was doing Bella magazine and all this kind of stuff.
And the thing is, they did this, but they did the same thing with Chloe and Philip, where they tried to bring in their history and relied on that. And yes, we got some cute flashbacks, but it just went on for so long.
Yeah. And this time we can't even get flashbacks because it's a different Eric.
It's a different
exactly.
Eric. I just feel like, although they could be, it could be a young Greg Vaughn. Played by Jensen Ackles.
I wish they just get away with that. All the suspension of disbelief we have to watch a soap. It's like, just roll those old clips. I feel like people would just get it.
Well, then they probably got to pay Jensen, so they're not going to do that.
Jensen will take it.
Pay Jensen to show the one clip.
He doesn't need the money.
No,
he doesn't.
But I think
he'll take it.
I think my thing is this. I feel like there's always a time in life where you move on from something in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of times people are not allowed to move forward in the past. Like, I would have just liked to have seen what life is like with Eric being back and with Jada and with Nicole and Rafe, and no interference between the two.
Yep.
But maybe if there was always something underliningly that kept happening throughout, like, I would kind of get that, and I think maybe I would be more in love with it. But I just kind of feel like, Nicole is inserting herself into Eric and Jada's relationship, and Jada is up on it, but Jada's like, you got a man.
Yeah.
Go be with your husband.
Yes.
I feel like that's what Jada wants to say. Yeah. And Rafe, I feel like he works so much that sometimes everything goes, but then you got Jada coming in like, oh yeah, she did a photo shoot, right? And then Rafe is like, what?
Like I said last week, she still did, even after that big blow up fight, she still has not managed to say anything to him.
And so it's just I don't know. So it's like, I feel like you are, Araceli, where I feel like I'm just kind of like, ugh, because I wish it was done differently and not so like
telegraphed
forcefully. Yeah. Like, as soon as Eric got back, it was like all these feelings. Like, I just wish we could have seen just Eric and Jada be Eric and Jada, and Rafe and Nicole be Rafe and Nicole. And they
immediately, they were both over, like, Nicole was
trying
over
to fight the feeling.
Like, not Ari. I keep wanting to say Ari. Nicole was over that marriage before it even happened.
Right.
She was just like, she didn't even want a wedding. She just like wanted to
let's go to the courthouse
and get it over. Like, gave zero shits about it.
Yeah.
And so since it started out that way, we didn't get any like, oh, Rafe and Nicole are together and happy, and it was not like a gradual progression. It was just like Tony just said, like, bam.
The only relationships who do that where it actually works out are the people who have been together for years, who have already basically been married without the paperwork.
Yeah. For now, I am still team Eric and Jada.
I would like to see what developed, like something developed. I would have liked to see more development with them instead of just an immediate block. You know what? Blocker.
Yes,
aka
exactly.
Nicole.
Which is the problem. Yeah. Now, the only part of this I actually did find interesting was the business part of it, because Alex coming in saying, let's revive Bella, let's move digital. Like, these are all actually practical conversations where we've been talking about how we need to revive the business portion of this show in a practical way that, we grew up watching Days for, and how they, back in the times where they used to have these really great business rivalries. And if they focus on that with the character of Alex and really bring him into weave him into that, and maybe keep him on as the Titan CEO and let him like level that up with the companies, then I think we've got momentum.
Yeah.
They just, for me, I'm totally on board with that, and I would definitely be up to that. They just need to tone down Alex's personality a little bit, just like a little bit. Like I did not need to hear him being like, "Oh, it's getting hot in here. Oh, I'm gonna take my jacket off too." I was like,
It's so him though. Like he's that guy.
That's the problem. I feel But he's like I feel like with that character he came on really strong, and that was like him 24/7, and then he kind of got a little bit more subtle.
Stephanie subtled him.
Yeah, and that's the Alex I like. The Alex that's like on too much Adderall, I don't like.
I
Not
like
Adderall Alex.
I like all of it. I like all the Alexes. I like glasses on, glasses off, cop, abs, threesome, tying folks up and leaving them in bed while they stoop through their apartment. I like all sides of Alex. I like the camera, show me smolder, Alex. Do you guys know how to smolder?
No. He was asking these two.
No one
like
Justin. Justin is trying to do it while saying, "I don't know how to."
No, I wasn't trying to.
No, you were very much in there like,
let's not answer so he can breeze right past this.
Oh well, since you know where I was going,
yes, I do.
Everyone, try this just for giggles. Try a smolder face in 3, 2, 1. Y'all do know how to do it.
I don't.
I love that y'all all released it at the same time. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't. I think I live my life. I think I just posted a smolder photo a couple of days ago on my Instagram. It was very smolder.
Girls,
it was very come up
girls
there
don't
and
do
see
the
me there
smolder
sometime.
necessarily face because then it comes out too poofy. You do your club face. Everybody, I like the club face.
What's the club face?
The club face is more like more than just a face. It's like using your whole posture, your whole body. If you're saying smolder, it's like, oh, it's all in the face. I don't like that. No, if you do club face, club look is more like, no, we're using our whole body.
It's very come hither. Justin lives. You live, Justin. You live for the.
Yeah. That could be a Day of Days interview. Give us your best smolder or give us your best club face.
I'm gonna make Robert Scott Wilson do that. I'm gonna say, you show us smolder. All right. Speaking of Alex, let's go into Chad, Alex, Stephanie, Salome, Paulina, and Chanel.
Salome.
First of all, Salome is like one of them women that's like, I worked all day and now I want to be tended to. Where you at, daddy?
Literally, she's like, I worked all day. I want to get banged. Like,
very much.
That's it.
But what were the odds that Maggie and Holly are in the vicinity of where Sloan
lives?
Second trick or treat.
Also, Holly is me. I am Holly. Because she was like, who's that lady in there? Why is she blind? Is she tied to the bed?
Holly. Don't grow folks' business.
Holly is very...
I love her. I loved it.
Like, listen, Nicole's my mom. I get it honest.
Like, who that is? What y'all doing in there?
I love it.
I still want to know what this file contains. I'm glad that Alex got it. I'm glad that they also didn't go back to like Salome, like walking around in her apartment and being like, let me just
Salome.
Check.
There's no A
slithery Salome. Going through her files and being like, something's missing. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they just let him steal it.
Oh, have y'all to yourselves figured out who the client is yet?
No.
Oh no.
I figured it out and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna write it, do what I do, and I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, so we're gonna timestamp this Sunday, November 6th at 3:56 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Michael Mattis has figured out or has a thought as to who the client is, while we still have no idea.
Was it a clue this week where you got it, or you just someone popped in your head?
I was thinking someone popped into my head, and I was like, oh. And there can be a motive behind it too. So yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. You'll have to let us know after this because I'm curious to know who you think it is. Miss Stephanie got her feelings hurt though because she heard Chad and Alex talking, and Chad was like, "I want nothing to do with her," and she was like, "Alex, do you want to go to do you want to go to dinner? Because Chad don't want me. I'm gonna do the classic Real Housewives cry, which is very much
Single tear.
Yeah.
The Renateer.
Oh, the Renateer is just this down here. I mean, I still say 100% Stephanie likes Alex.
Oh, totally.
Mm-hmm.
And the face that he made.
She doesn't want to like Alex. She doesn't want to like Alex, but she does.
Yeah. And the face that he made when it was like, Chad, I'd like to speak to Alex alone.
Yeah.
Can you give us some privacy?
But even Chad was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, because she just heard you say you don't want nothing to do with her.
There was a moment in that scene where she was like, Chad, I want to speak to Alex alone. And so Billy is leaving the set and Rob/Alex says, yeah, thanks, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Billy stopped and like turned around. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that was a little thing between them. Like,
yeah, I was like, is that an ad-lib? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all that happened with that storyline. And then, Paulina, got the
still works
got
for
the
Paulina.
file.
They got the file. It's allegedly all the originals. There's no. Yes. But the client can still come out and whoever, I think I figured out who the client is. The client can still, blow it up. They just don't have the evidence.
Right.
We live in a digital era. Nothing.
I mean, it could all be scanned.
It can all
be scanned in a nice little Adobe PDF.
But I feel like originals are always better.
Scanned and notarized. That's how, very, very, very precarious this situation is.
Going back to Alex and Chad, I like the moment. What's that?
It's my old notary stamp. I used to be a notary.
You lived the life. I like what Days tried to do in showing how well Stephanie gets along with Charlotte and Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, y'all is sneaking days of our lives. I see what y'all doing. Trying to be like, oh, hi.
She can be our mommy.
Right. Because Charlotte was all about it. Your mommy's cousin? Tell me more.
I'm so stupid. When he said that, I'm like, Jennifer's cut? She's Jennifer's cut? And I'm like, oh, wait, no, Abigail. I skipped it.
You skipped a whole generation.
I was dumb.
It's all right. All right. So those were your top storylines. And those were the days. Those were your top storylines. But before we move on to our one tidbit, just want to remind you guys, follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then also look for us on your favorite podcast station and buy the merch. All right, let's go to our one tidbit, which is Wendy and Chanel and their conversation. Chanel just being like,
you want to have threesome?
No, that was Wendy. Wendy was like,
oh, my bad.
Chanel was like,
I wasn't paying attention.
To talk to you about something. You want to have a threesome? I was like,
I love how there must be a poster in town that's like, want to have a threesome? Chanel and Allie.
Chanel and Allie. But go ahead.
No, I'm like, okay, they need to drop that. Don't bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
And don't bring up that Alex looks like Ben.
Like you just did.
Right.
I'm just saying, I have a list of things not to bring up anymore. Those two are on my top.
227.
That one I did. Did I mind that one? Was I upset about that one? I don't even remember the 227.
We didn't even talk about that really. We kind of breezed by it last week.
We always talked about the references. I think that's when I realized how much you hate the references.
But yeah, we missed the ones last week.
I don't remember
Becky and Leo. The ones about
Mary,
and she's a good assistant, but yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't mind those. Anyway,
also the Xander one.
Now we're yapping. Sorry.
But the conversation between Wendy and Chanel, I like that the air was cleared. We still can see that Chanel obviously cares about Johnny. They had a great laugh about just comparing, just like how he is. No, Wendy, you're not invited for a threesome. But it just showed how much, there's a care for Johnny, not the same love, but a care for Johnny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just like a check-in with like, well, what's going on? It's almost like if you're gonna be living in my house,
under my
what's
roof.
going on with you and Johnny?
Yeah.
That's how it felt. Did y'all have any thoughts about it, or that pretty much sums it up?
Yeah, that was
sums it up.
Okay, bam. All right, now it's time to go into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! So, listen, you guys know when I love tea collecting. And so my 3 Snaps Award goes to Gabby Hernandez, Camila Banos, who right off the bat noticed Johnny and Wendy talking to each other very intently. And she was like, what's going on here? As she's waving her tea
Karen
around.
Walker, what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, what's this? What's happening? What's going on here? And she picked up on everything. She was not going to let Johnny go. She was like, baby, listen, you can tell me whatever story, but I know what I saw. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's something else. So what is the tea? What is happening? So
same thing happened with Susan. Susan figured it out too.
Yes. But Susan got those premonitions. Gabby is just nosy. So for being the tea collector and tea detective, Gabby Hernandez, Camila Banos, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! And now it's time for Caption That.
All right, this week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of Xander, Sarah, and the Roach Motel. And this week's caption goes to Michael Bird 605 on Instagram with his caption, I told you do not put another quarter in that bed and let me down.
That's funny.
Because the beds of yesterday in hotels used to put a quarter in it, used to, do a little something.
That's hilarious. And shout out to Paul Telfer, who always gets a kick out of when we do
retweeted and re-Insta storied. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for your participation.
We love it. And that was Caption That. And now it's time for Those Were the
Days. Yeah, I know. I played the after one. Sorry. Let's move on.
I'll take you back to November 4th, 1996, where we had the introduction of one of our favorite characters, Miss Susan Banks. I remember this as clear as day. I don't know if you guys remember the scene with Kristen
I do.
in the waiting room in the doctor's office. And now, can you spot who Susan and Chris? Can you tell them apart here?
So I feel like up at the top, the one on the left is Susan, and the one on the right is Kristen.
Susan,
Kristen, zigzag.
Susan,
yeah. So Susan, Kristen, Susan.
Yep.
Susan. Oh no, Susan, Kristen.
Yeah. Left Susan, right Susan, left Susan. Yeah. Yeah. But no,
it's so funny because they're both the same people, but we're trying to figure out which character she's playing in the
and the brilliance of Eileen.
I just remember that was such a unique look for Eileen that day, like the crimped hair and the pink overcoat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It started off a whole new way of life for Eileen.
Who knew that Susan, 25 years later, we'd still have Susan Banks.
Yeah.
Love
she's
it.
iconic.
November 4th, 1996, where we had the introduction to Susan Banks.
And those were the days. And
consistent.
It's a gift. That wasn't the right one.
What do you want then? Play it yourself.
There are 2. Like that one is that the second one is supposed to be those were the days.
Okay, and since I played the second one first, I played the regular one second.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Well, note to Michael Mattis, it's the other way.
Well, note to Michael Mattis, do it right. But, if I'm doing it wrong, I might as well consistently do it wrong. Right?
And now it's time for It's a Gift. Well, you got that one right.
I did get that one right.
Anyways.
Araceli, intro.
Anyways, this week's Is a Gift goes to Sarah and her can of Raid, which apparently she just does not know how to use. But it's actually, right? But it's a good motivation. It's a good reminder to Xander that she's got a good arm if he doesn't watch his step.
Good and strong. All right, and that was It's a Gift. All right, and now it's time for News and Gossip.
Starting off, if you happen to miss the beginning part of our show or the big announcement that Tony made earlier this week. Yes, he is the MC of Day of Days 2022, happening next weekend, Saturday, November 12th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Xbox Plaza, LA Live here in Los Angeles. Yes, our very own Tony Moore, MC of the whole event. Free event. Come down, come see all your Days stars. You have everything that you know and love. You have autograph signings, Q&As, and I'm guessing some interesting things from Tony coming up that you won't share.
There are going to be some wonderful surprises. There's going to be giveaways, autograph sessions, both in the morning and afternoon, and a big Q&A that happens to close out the event, followed by a sneak peek at what's to come on Days of Our Lives. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So,
yes.
So make sure you guys come. It's free.
Yes. As far as I know, we have 38 confirmed cast members. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Come and hang out.
And the day players are performing at Day of Days. So they're going to play a couple of selections. So it's going to be a fun event.
Yeah. Next up, we have an interesting deal that just happened. Peacock has teamed up with Hallmark to air all their sort of exclusive content, everything from their movies to their on-demand, their shows, sort of next day airings as well. So if you're looking for some more sort of content to entice you to move to Peacock, if you haven't made the switch yet, yes, you can kind of check out all the Hallmark offerings, including some from your favorite Days stars. Of course, we have Ali Sweeney, Trevor Donovan, Jen Lilly, and just forgot Greg Vaughn as well. So yeah, more content. If you haven't made the move, go ahead. If you have, we've got some interesting content that actually
make the move, people. Make the move.
Yeah, make the move already.
Yeah, and you can go watch those right now. They are all available.
It's the cheapest service.
It is actually, yeah.
All right,
you get all this.
Last but not least, with one of our favorites, Miss Katie McLean. She is directing a new play called Never the Sitter. Those that don't know, she's the artistic director of the Axial Theater. This is her newest play called Never the Sitter by John Logan. It is premiering in New York. If you happen to be in the area at the Bethany Arts Community College, it has a couple different runnings during the week. November 10th through 12th, there are tickets, showings. And then November 17th or 19th, there is also another set of showings. But go out and support. She's amazing. She does, outside of the stuff she does is acting and playing Jennifer on the show. She is very much into directing and producing and making a path for herself and telling great stories. And I'm sure it's going to be an amazing play. So go check it out if you happen to be in the area.
Yes. And that was News and Gossip. And now it's time to give you a sneak peek at what's to come this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Oh my God.
I came here for her.
I want to make you forget about Brady.
We still love you.
I'm at the hospital. You gotta get down here. It's Jada. She have a cream? You're under arrest on suspicion of murder.
Days of Our Lives, streaming now on Peacock.
Oh.
Well, all right. Well, y'all, it's going to be a very interesting week. No info week this week, honey, but make sure you tune in next week for a full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive.
Will we be back next week?
No. We're at Day of Days next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
You are right. We will be back in 2 weeks. Sorry, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We ain't here next week, y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Sorry. But
we'll be posting content for.
No.
Watch
Please
our
follow us.
socials. Watch our YouTubes. You'll feel like you're there. We promise.
Well, y'all know where to follow us. But Michael Mattis, where can they follow you?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis.
Araceli, your one favorite social media platform.
My one favorite social media platform is Twitter, and you can find me there at Tia323 Araceli.
Justin Lee Hareld.
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
You can find all of us on Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. You can find Little Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. Special thanks to the day players for popping on. Eric Martsolf, Carson Boatman, Wally Kurth, and Brandon Barash. We hope to see you all this Saturday, November 12th, for Day of Days happening at the Xbox Plaza, LA Live in Los Angeles, California, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will all be there. So make sure you guys come. Tweet us, Instagram us, let us know that you're going to be there. Until then, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back here for another full dish of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. This has been Dishin Days. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.